see what happens.
What is this like? Am I getting broadcast and I've got my hair like this?
Yeah. Well, we're going to right. Okay, we've got another Zooby crack going on. Only this time we're catching up with Paul Walker from Carlisle TIC / Discover Carlisle. Well, what is your role, Paul? What's your official role?
What am I? I'm the destination manager for Carlisle City Council. So that includes everything to do with visitor economy, signature events, city centre management, projects, things like working with the Hadrian's Wall Partnership, the North Pennine area of outstanding natural beauty, and obviously the historic city itself.
Right, okay, fair enough. I just know you as Paul from Carlisle. Paul,
yeah.
Right, okay. So basically, we're in lockdown 84. We're about to come out. What do you reckon? What's the feeling?
If the tests are met.
Yeah, this tests are met.
Quite positive, I think, from the announcement from the Prime Minister. I think it's a pragmatic approach, and I know it's going to be still a long haul with the 5-week gaps between each of the measures, subject to whatever tests are in place being met. But I think everything seems quite positive, and certainly the amount of interest in the staycation market for this year is going to be through, which is great. You know, it's brilliant for us. The economy's taken a beating, and that's going to go on for a few weeks yet. But like he said, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. Hopefully, people follow the rules. I just think from a visitor's perspective as well, I mean, one of the very important messages that we'd like to get across is obviously if you're travelling outside of your local area for a staycation or just a day trip even, just really be mindful of the communities that you're visiting and the impact that you have on them as well. Because, the last thing we want is to drive a wedge between the resident population and the visitors. Nobody wants that. So one key message is just be mindful if you are visiting somewhere else in the UK, just be mindful of the people that live.
Okay, now going back to Carlisle, why should we come to Carlisle? Why should people flock to Carlisle? Go on.
Well, I'll tell you about one of the projects that we've got ongoing at the moment. It's funded through Visit England, Discover England Fund. Basically, this was a project that brought together lots of historic cities across the country.
Yeah.
And it was designed to attract visitors from the United States and Canada. Well, obviously, the international travel market is seriously affected by what's gone on. But what we've been able to do is we've been able to work together, all of these cities, and actually pivot that round now so it faces on the domestic market.
Right.
So it works with travel trade to promote itineraries. So, for example, you could have an itinerary with a couple of nights in Chester, a couple of nights in Lancaster, then Carlisle, then Durham, which would be a really nice journey for somebody to make as a domestic holiday. And you're up against the Chesters and the Yorks and what have you, but the story that we've got to tell is older and more interesting than theirs. So
ours is older than yours. Carlisle is
at least
to me. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Because for those who haven't been to Carlisle, or those who haven't just been for ages, there's a local photographer called Matt Turner, MJ Turner. I don't know if you know Matt, but anyway, we're going to...
Well, one thing I will say is his merchandise is available for sale in Carlisle Tourist Information Centre.
Right. Well, this is just some of the slides from his Facebook page, MJ Turner. He's he's brilliant.
Really great things that he does is he picks out the things that we all walk past every single day and don't take a second look at, and he makes us take notice of them.
It's absolutely a big up to MJ Turner Photography. Look at that. See. Yeah, I do like this fella's work, obviously. I mean, Paternoster and that. Look at this.
But it does. I mean, a lot of people walk around and look down, and this kind of thing makes them lovely.
What we'll do is we'll jump on over to your website, because I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Discover Carlisle, it's a cracking site. I love it.
There's so much stuff there, and the team really, really hard to keep it up to date. Carlisle isn't just a city. It is a large rural district, and what people sometimes forget is that within the large rural district, we have a 2,000-year-old city. We've got a World Heritage Site, and we've got 2 areas of outstanding natural beauty. So there's a lot to explore.
Yeah. So you come to Carlisle. I mean, you've got the castle, which is absolutely amazing. Walby Farm Park for the kids, Tully House Museum, superb. The 2,000 years a day. The Carlisle Cathedral, again, that's absolutely fantastic. And the things that you've done there with the light show, that was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, if people are wondering why my hair looks like this, I've actually just been crawling around on top of the castle with colleagues from Cumbria County Council, just doing a feasibility study on how we can grow and shape that event into something that's even better.
Right. Is there anything in the pipeline for the summer?
Oh, there might be, but it's a little bit early to say at the moment.
Nightlife wise, restaurants, there's plenty of restaurants.
Visitors often say is, you can go to other cities and everything's like chain restaurants. We've got such a lot of independent restaurants and bars in Carlisle. We have got, there's 1 or 2 chains which are always very popular, but the quality is just, it's amazing.
Top 3. If you can go out tomorrow, what's your favourites?
Top 3, probably the Sally at Earthington. If I wanted a Sunday lunch,
yeah.
If I wanted to stay in town, maybe the Andalusian.
Nice, lovely building that is, eh?
Yeah. I know, but there's such a lot of choice. It's you could go somewhere different every night for a fortnight. Maybe the Last Zebra or somewhere like that.
Right. Looking at the pub side of it, again, there's plenty of choice, isn't there?
Choice. Yeah, we've got. There's another historic story there about.
The brewery.
I'm not gonna go on about that, but there's the state management story.
The state management story, absolutely. I mean, the state management story. I mean, you got Harry Redfern. Was it Henry Redfern?
It was.
Who worked for the government as the architect designing these pubs. And literally, if you love architecture and you love old boozers, the designed and decorated from the 1920s onwards, it's Art Deco, only it's breathing Art Deco. But anyway, there's loads of them, and that is a story in itself. It's another reason to come to Carlisle.
And don't forget, the market towns that we've got as well. Longtown, Brampton, and Dalston. We have strong independent retail there as well. So if you're looking for something a bit different, and you want some antiques or something that's refurbished, Brampton is the place to go.
Brampton's beautiful. I will try and get on here because you were talking about the Solway one as well, which the Solway coast is just literally on the doorstep of Carlisle. And
it is.
This is a beautiful outfit, and I think.
Hi, I'm Fiona Stoddart. I'm a local tour guide and I guide people on secret Solway tours out of Carlisle, around the Solway area in Cumbria and in southwest Scotland. So coming out of Carlisle, as you drive out along the Solway, you're passing through an area that's got thousands of years of history. There's been nomadic Helvetic people, Romans, Vikings, industrialists, World War II army, all visiting this area, and they've all left their mark on the landscape. Edward I had come up into the north of England in pursuit of Robert the Bruce. He wasn't a well man at this point in time. In 1307, he'd come up, stayed at Lanercost Priory for about 3 months. As I say, he was not an awfully well man. He had then gone to Carlisle, he'd held a parliament in Carlisle, and then he brought his army out to this point in Brough Marsh. The reason he was here is because of an old crossing that there was over the River Eden and over the River Esk into Scotland. It was a crossing called Sulwath, which was, it's a Viking name. It means muddy path, which pretty much says it all. But it was.
I knew he died there, but I didn't know
Yeah.
he stayed at Lanercost, and I didn't know he'd held a parliament in Carlisle.
Well, Carlisle's the only city outside of London where Parliament's been held.
Every day's a school day, isn't it? Tell you what, he's done a cracking job on that cathedral, mate, in Carlisle.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is.
But
And
they've done
They're amazing.
they've done the friary out as well, though, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. So there's a new education centre there. Obviously, the new cafe, which is brilliant. But I mean, just as a place to go, I mean, it's a free of charge place that you can go and have a look. And I mean, the stories that are in there, the volunteer tour guides on all the time. So if you've got any questions, or if you genuinely want someone to show you around, there's somebody there.
Right.
We're more than happy to do it, and it's free. So why wouldn't you?
Right. And also as well, you've got Cathedral Lodge Antiques. Lovely couple.
Yeah.
That's a cracking little shop, that as well.
Oh, it is. It's brilliant.
There's some brilliant independents in Carlisle. But
Well, it's funny you should say that. We ran an event at Glasgow Central Station, and it was a partnership event with the Tyne Valley Rail Partnership, and it was all about Hadrian's Wall. And we spent the whole day just talking to people, station users in Glasgow, and such a lot of people that we spoke to said that they regularly visit Carlisle because they prefer it because it's more compact than Glasgow. They prefer it because it's a better choice of places to eat and drink while they're here.
wow.
So when you talk about comparing to larger cities, you know, that was a case in point.
Right. You got to say, I mean, Carlisle's a great destination place for coming to Carlisle and going discovering the coast and the borders and Hadrian's Wall and the lakes. It's got everything.
It has. We've got our own lake, don't forget. We've got Talking Town. So you don't have to go to the Lake District to experience that. If you want to avoid crowds, then perfect place to visit. And I mean, miles and miles of unspoiled countryside. You know, I mean, the district is huge. And, you know, there are places where you can go for a walk, for example, up Talking Fell.
Yeah.
You'd be lucky if you see 4 or 5 people, you know. It really is like a path less travelled.
Yeah. There's a question for you then. How many lakes? Everyone knows this. How many lakes are in Cumbria?
One.
Yay! Which one?
Windermere.
No. That's a water. No, that's a water. Bassenthwaite.
Is that it? Is that true?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Regards to things to do in Carlisle and museums and whatnot, there's some little gems. I mean, we got Tully House, which is an award-winning venue. Even Solway Aviation Museum. Do you know what?
It's fantastic, and we're hoping to hear from them very soon. Because obviously they didn't open at all last year because a lot of the volunteers were in the vulnerable categories. But we're waiting to hear soon whether they'll open this year, and I really hope they do because there's such a lot of hard work that's put in by such a lot of people up there.
Yeah.
I'd just say visit. I'm not visit because it is a cracking little museum.
No, I like it. I think they're all volunteers. They are. They
are
all volunteers.
They're just such a nice bunch of people as well, so welcoming.
Yeah.
And they really deserve the support.
Good. And so you got Tully House, you got Solway Aviation.
There's Military Life.
Well, I was going to say that one there, Cumbria Museum of Military Life, which if you don't know your military, it's basically all around the border regiment.
It is, and it's good, but it's got stuff from, you know, right back to the Crimean War, right up to modern day troubles in Northern Ireland. It really is representative. One of the best things that they've got in there, called the Arroyo drums, which were captured from a French regiment at Arroyo when Wellington defeated Napoleon.
And you remembered all that?
Just reading it off my Instagram. Yeah.
Right, okay. So it's just for a bit of fun. You've got a handful of mates coming to Carlisle, or you've got family coming to Carlisle from out the county. You're going to spend a day with them. Where are you going to take them, and what are you going to do?
Well, obviously it depends on the weather. But the things that I would say you mustn't miss is, well, I would probably suggest you contact us first, just to make sure that you're all set up for the day. But Tully House Museum and the Castle and the Cathedral are definite must-dos. If the weather's good, obviously Hadrian's Wall, Talking Town, Country Park and the Solway Coast, probably not to be missed. And with hospitality hopefully reopening in the not too distant future, what we would say is we would encourage you to book first. So make sure you've got it booked, you know, if you're going to go out for lunch. You know, there's the hospitality industry in the city is well supported when it's open, but there probably will still be restrictions in place with regard to social distancing. So just be mindful that they'll be doing their best, but there might be fewer tables available. So please book.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, isn't it? And regards to accommodation and staying in Carlisle, I mean, from where you
there's a range. I mean, it depends. You know, you can go and do something completely secluded at somewhere like Tranquillata or Hidden River Cabins, where you get a log cabin with a hot tub that's completely secluded and not overlooked. Or if you want a cheap and cheerful weekend, there's chain hotels like the Ibis and Travelodge, but there's also independent hotels as well. So you've got the Holston, which is self-catering, but it's a fantastic restaurant downstairs. Crown and Mike, which is a traditional Georgian hotel, but full leisure facilities there. So, you know, if the kids want to go for a swim after the day out.
Yeah, we actually deliver mags around some of them weird and wacky little out of the way places like the Roman wall lodges, Drybeck Farm out in Armathwaite. That's a stunning little place. There's just so much choice. There is so much choice. So people just need to, if they want to see beautiful sunsets on the coast, yet they want to enjoy lakes and wander around the lakes and the fells, yet they want to enjoy take in Hadrian's Wall, or whether they want to have like a really nice day wandering around a lovely 2,000-year-old historic city, Carlisle. They come and stay in Carlisle, and they can have the cake and they can eat it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's dead easy to get to as well. You know, I mean, for anyone that's in county, most of us live on a railway line or close to, so you don't even have to bring the car.
Right, finally then, on the entertainment side of it, Carlisle punches well above its weight.
It does, and we've got some real good opportunities at the minute. Obviously, you mentioned earlier on the Sand Centre. That's undergoing a massive redevelopment, which will change the nature of the venue, really. It's very much seen as multi-purpose, but it'll be a proper performing arts venue when it's finished, which will be great. But then there's the smaller venues as well, like the old fire station, and the Harrowby Theatre as well. Both attracts, you know, nationally recognised acts.
And don't forget the Brickyard. It still hasn't changed. And you've got to feel for them places like that. You've got to really feel for them, because they've, like everyone else,
it's different and special in its own way, you know. So,
and then you've got the Bits Park gigs in the summer.
Yeah. Fingers crossed we have, and Racecourse as well.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the Discover Carlisle website and the social medias as well, because there's likely to be dates in the park. I know, you know, the concert organisers have been in discussions with the council, and it's difficult at this stage to say exactly
what's going on,
what event on it, but just keep your eye on, because things will happen.
Right.
We might have to do things in slightly different ways, but
Well, basically, you can come to Carlisle and stay overnight in self-contained accommodation as of the 12th of April.
Yeah, you can.
And
you should.
Yeah, and you should. And you should. That's it. There's not really anything else.
And if you want any ideas of where to stay, just give us a ring.
Yeah. Discover Carlisle. So, Discover Carlisle. That's where you'll find everything about attractions, where to eat, where to drink, where to stay, latest news, gigs, events, and everything else.
And if there's something missing from there, if you've got something going on or a business that you think should be there, tell us.
Right.
It's not if it's all there compiled under the best possible intentions. But if there's something missing, just let us know.
Right, fantastic. All right, Paul, do I need to add anything else? We've more or less covered it earlier, haven't we? Come to Carlisle.
I think so. It'd be really nice. It'd be really nice if people would follow our socials. So we've got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Right.
If you just want to keep an eye on what we're doing day to day.
Okay.
That's the place to be.
So stay in touch. Go follow Discover Carlisle, Insta, Twitter, Facey.
And we can't wait to welcome everybody back.
I hope this year turns out to be an absolute gem of a year for all the businesses involved, for everyone involved.
Fingers crossed for everyone.
Right, fantastic. Right, okay, well, Paul, thanks very much, and I'll catch you later.
Been a pleasure, Steve.
Cheers.